how did you get to where you are now on your spiritual journey? Like, what made you decide to like really get going in the direction that you went in spiritually?
Yeah, well, so
Not just EvolvMe, like you personally.
spiritual, okay. I have actually been, I've been open all of my life, and but because of my Catholic upbringing, I kind of pushed that away. You know, it wasn't until I had my son about 14 years ago, who had the same abilities as I had. Did I really, you know, he had the same abilities. He, you know, was born with the same abilities. And I just knew that I had to nurture him and not deny him like I did myself. And
Yeah.
yeah, you know, it was really, that kind of, brought me to really wanting to connect more with my spirituality and my abilities. I'm a medium and an intuitive development coach, as well as a remote viewer, healer. I know it's a lot of things that that we all do. That if we just kind of listed all the things that we're really excited about and what we've practiced is a little. It sounds like a lot, but no, it's all. It wasn't until I realized that this is what I wanted to do that it felt like I found my purpose. And at the time I was running a technology and security business and was very much in the physical world. And I especially because I was Catholic, I really didn't feel that my I didn't necessarily believe in my abilities, even though,
Yeah, I mean, it's hard when you
yeah,
don't have that
I would
support.
see my grandfather who died 2 years before I was born all the time as a kid, and I thought that was normal, and I didn't put it together that until later on I would
I
fight
was
with
the
my
same
mother.
way. I
Yeah,
get
oh
it.
yeah, it
Yeah.
was, and just, but it tells you how much conditioning does to people, where you think, okay, that's just
Yeah.
not something you can do. But what I come to realize is that we all have these abilities. We all have that ability to connect intuitively, and it's really just a part of our evolution. So yeah, that's my story.
Great. Who would like to go next? How about you, Lauri? Lauri Albert, LA. LA,
LA.
out in LA.
So we've got two Lauris. So we're gonna go LA and LS. I love it.
Exactly.
Anyway, I'm so thankful for this community. You guys, this has been so far, and we're just getting started. Like EvolvMe is just in its infancy, and we've already created some amazing friendships and lasting friendships that are going to be lifelong. So I just wanted to say that I'm super excited about this. But how I got started was crazy. Years and years ago, I got a flyer. Actually, I had weird stuff happening my whole life, but I didn't understand it. I was raised Catholic, and you just kind of push that stuff aside, And I got, yeah, right. I got a notification from my my college, where I went to college, and I found out that my ex-boyfriend died, right?
Oh
And
my God.
all of a sudden, like, I swear to God, all of a sudden when I read it, I was like, and the tears started flowing. And all of a sudden I knew he was standing right next to me. Like, oh, I have chills thinking about it because I remember it like it was yesterday. So then I decided I was going to, well, that's not real. That can't be right. Right. And I was like, fine. So if that's you, I have to go to the store. So what's going to happen is, okay, so if this is really you, by the time I get to my store, like it was 2 miles away, I made up 3 things. One was a lady walking her golden retriever. And I was like, but then I was like, oh, wait, that's too easy because I live in suburbia. That's going to be fine. And I was like, okay, so fine, there's that. Then the next thing was, you know what? If I see an orange Corvette driving down the street, I'll know it's you. Right?
No way.
So I get in the car and I'm just like, oh, walking along or driving along and everything. And I see this lady walking her dog. And I'm like, ooh, like, oh, is that real? And then, sure enough, you're not going to believe it, an orange Corvette driving right by me. And I stopped the car and went, hi, how are you? Like, he's sitting right there in the car next to me.
Oh my
It was so hilarious. But that's kind of how my whole thing has been, right? And so since then, I've really developed a whole, just a whole thing. Like, spirit just keeps giving me more and more and more to do. I'm a spiritual medium. I call myself a spiritual luminary because I love the idea of finding the light within you and then helping you grow that light, So, I mean, I'm a manifestation author, a spiritual medium, an intuitive educator, all of that kind of stuff that we all kind of are, but it's so much fun. So I'm super excited to be part of this group of amazing human beings and intuitive. So that's my story.
That's amazing. And like that, I always tell people, like, ask for what you want.
Yeah.
And it's crazy when you get it, because you're like, now what do I do?
Yeah, exactly. So.
Derrick, tell us about you.
Oh, wow.
Did you get to where you are? Did you find your way here?
Oh, you're freezing.
Oh,
no, Mike, we can hear you.
We'll give him a second.
Oh, bro. Oh,
there he is.
My spiritual journey. Okay, my spiritual journey. I mean, I had some weird things happen throughout my life. Almost every house me and the families lived at have been like haunted and had spirits in it. But it really started kicking off like 6 years ago. When I got the job where I'm at now. I'm out in nature all the time by myself in the woods, in the mountains, where I can be me and me alone, to be in the thoughts, being with nature, and things really started kicking off. Really started connecting with the earth. Had a couple of energy sessions with a guy and started really hearing spirit, connecting. And I took my first class, actually with Theon, at the International School of Clairvoyance, and because I just had that urge, had that calling that so many of us get toward there's something more you got to be doing. There's something more. Spirit kept on saying, wake up. It's time to wake up. It's time to wake up. You got to do something. And started diving into everything spirituality, everything, law of attraction, everything manifestation, vibration, quantum physics, shamanism, anything I could get my hands on that could explain, what it was experiencing, what it was feeling, the messages, the feelings. And like I say, taking that class, the clairvoyance course, the mediumship courses, and that really sent it into overdrive and connecting. When Theon hit me up about the EvolvMe site, oh my gosh, things are just exploding. Spirits coming in all the time now. It's like, it's beautiful. And to be part of a community like this, where you have so many people like-minded, like energy, not just like-minded, but same energy of healing life, healing frequencies, wanting to expand and help others expand and grow and lift the consciousness of everybody. It's not just beautiful. I mean, there's truly no human words that can express the gratitude and the feeling you feel when you get into a group like that and you feel the energies of everybody else that are so authentic and so real and so like non-judging, trying to top you or be better than you in any way. It's just supportive in every possible way. And it's just, for me, it's brought my truth out. And that's kind of like you, Lauri. Like, I see part of my mission is bringing that out in other people, bringing that light out in others, bringing their truth. Because, you get these sessions with people and spirit comes in and they show you a vision of their higher self. And it's like, damn, you were so vast. You were so amazing. You were so bright and beautiful. And it's like, I just want everybody to see what they truly are, feel what they truly are, experience what they truly are. And anybody out there watching this, the EvolvMe site and the practitioners can help you do that, because it's just beautiful souls trying to help other beautiful souls. So
That's amazing.
I know. Could you imagine
I don't know.
our community without Derrick? So I'm just so.
Without any of you, man.
What?
Without any of us, man. That's what makes it so perfect. You know, everybody here is just meshes so beautifully. It's like the perfect puzzle, the perfect weave, the perfect tapestry.
Yeah.
I love it. And I love that.
Do you know why it's and you would think, and just like I was fearing, I was like, okay, you know, how are we going to get people together like this? Because there's a lot of ego and, you know, a lot of that guru syndrome involved. But, you know, just the every single one of you in the community are kind, here to serve, and are always open to collaborate and to be a part of something. And you know, like I said, I couldn't have been more thankful to meet and to be a part of this with all of you. So
that's so nice. Hey, Derrick, I have to tell you that Jonathan on YouTube said it's awesome to witness divine open masculine energy in this kind of spiritual form. That's really cool.
Well, hello, everybody. I want to send out this huge vibrational hug to anyone that's watching. And the fact that I like so into the love and the hugs is pretty funny, because I was born and raised in Muskegon, Michigan, you know, by folks that really weren't huggers. And yeah, but I went to Girl Scout camp, and then the hugging thing began for me. You know, everybody hugs at Girl Scout camp. But anyway, I was born into a family that was very gifted, but didn't really like to deal with it and shut it down. I mean, my grandfather used to have visions. He didn't like his mom much, but his mom used to show up at the end of his bed all the time in his dreams. And so, you know, since he didn't have a relationship with his mom that was a good one, he didn't really want those dreams. And she would bring things to him. And my great grandmother on my mom's mother's side could read tea leaves, and she could read palms.
That's so cool.
But that is cool, except that my mother foretold a couple of things that weren't good things that actually came true. So it freaked my mom out. And so my mom was like, oh, we don't do that. We don't do those things. You know, my children, don't you touch a Ouija board, she would say, or anything like that. So we were gifted, but, you know, and everybody has the potential. Everybody has it. And let me say that. But it wasn't okay. It wasn't something that we talked about. So therefore, you know, as a kid, when I had my friends, when I would have my intuition, I would know things before they happened. I couldn't really talk about it with anyone. And I think that's true for a lot of us. You know, you begin to think like, ooh, this isn't such a good thing. And I had like all these near-death experiences where I would then, you know, visions and different things, see, you know, my life, you know, where they say you see your future and all these different things. So I began to shut that down. I said, no, I'm not going to do this. And then when I was in my late 20s, I worked in HIV/AIDS, and I worked with people who were dying, and in Yonkers, New York. And anyway, I helped people to cross over. And the first time, one of the early times, is I'm sitting with this beautiful, she was more than a client. She was just, you know, she was like an aunt to me. And she was, you know, in the dying process. And I could feel her going, and I literally could feel her energy, and I had no terms for it. I didn't understand it, but I could feel her energy getting to the door. It was like there was a door, a gate, and I could feel her. I was with her. My energy was moving with her. And, you know, she had no one, because she had, you know, lived a rough life. And so she felt so alone, and I just felt like so much love between us. And then there was a point where I couldn't go anymore, and she crossed over. And at first I was like, you know, because I left the hospital when she was crossing, but I didn't know. I'm like, goodbye, Flo, I love you. And I get home and I get a phone call. She had died like moments after I left the hospital.
Wow.
And I sat there and I didn't know what to do with it, because back then, that was like maybe 1990. Who talked about those things?
Yeah.
No one talked about those things. Then I started, because I worked in AIDS, we used to have all these great, I live in New York, so I went to Omega, and I had the opportunity to meet Ram Dass, and I had the opportunity to meet Elizabeth Kubler-Ross. And I would, they would say these things about death and dying. They would talk about all these amazing things. And I was a kid of 27, 28. And I was going, these things are really weird. Like the idea that I was alive before and I chose to live in this life. What are they talking about? I have no clue. And, so it was like I arrived in something before I was ready for it. And then jump ahead. So, that sort of was, my life. And I began to see things and I was like, no way. No, this isn't going to do. Everybody's Uncle Fred can just stay away. I'm not going to do that. And, so I was in my late 40s and I was going through some tough times. My brother had passed away and then things began to happen in the house. Oh my gosh. Wine glasses jumped off of the wine rack and the TV turned on, like not once, but 3 times. And I would begin to shut the TV off because I knew it was my brother because he was a jerk. Everybody's got one in their family, right? You guys know what I'm talking about.
He likes to mess with you.
Yeah, love to mess with me. And that was it. I had to start to deal with it. And so I ended up joining. First of all, I was in a lot of, I had lost a job and I was going through a lot of stuff. Every issue, I swear, I ever had in my life, came up like this. And I was like, oh, poop, what do I do with this? And so I joined the shamanic group, and it was an Andean medicine circle, a spiral as our teacher called it. And it changed my life, absolutely changed my life. And it was based on the directions, the South, Sachamama, where you're dealing with the serpents and shedding skins. The West was Jaguar and facing your shadows. The North was your ancestors. And then the East was Eagle Condor soaring above your problems. And through that process, those 14 months, something happened to me very deep. And I began to really heal these ancient traumas. And with it, was able to accept the fact, what? This is part of your path. And so then I had no choice to become a medium. I had to go to school and I studied mediumship and stuff. And from there, it was over. It was like my destiny was written, and I just had to accept it. And this is what I can say to everyone: we're given opportunities, and sometimes they're through pain and they're through sorrow, and it's best just to say yes, because otherwise it's going to happen again. So just say yes and deal with it. That's what I've learned. But I love it. I absolutely love this work. I've always, I think deep in my soul, I love being a minister, and that's why I like to call it. I feel like I am a minister. I'm a shamanic practitioner, and I'm, all those things. I just love helping people. I love being with people in this work, and I also love being with people, and I love spirit.
Yeah, that is so great. I just love all those stories. And I think back when we were younger, don't you guys think we all kind of got it squashed?
Oh,
that
absolutely.
seems like a theme.
Yeah.
Like
I think it's our age group, though. If you think about it, the generation that is coming up, they're a lot more open because people are a lot more understanding. And, that conditioning that we all had through religion or whatever, really just, a lot of it is fluid now. So, people are a little bit more open than they were back when we were kids.
Yeah, I totally agree. I mean, and now my kids can be more open,
Oh yeah.
because I allow it, and I, like, help it flourish,
Yeah.
Let's hear your story, Melanie.
Yeah, I know.
What?
I want to.
Let's hear your story.
I am a psychic medium, and I also communicate with animals. And like Theon said, if you name all the things, like we like remote viewing, and like a little bit into sound healing and art healing, and all that kind of thing. So if you really went into it, it's just like you want to get into everything. But basically, I'm just a psychic medium, and I communicate with animals as well. I have been open all my life too. When I was 11 months old, my dad died, and I'm the youngest of 10, and I would always see my dad in the house. You know what I mean? And this is from when I was like 4 or 5, and it was kind of normal to me, but it was through a dream actually that he made me understand that nobody else could see him. But I kind of, like you, Theon, I didn't really know that there was anything wrong with that. I would hear things, I would see things, and I was just thinking recently, I think that's why I have such a good game face, because when you hear stuff that other people don't really hear, you just sit like this.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
Yeah.
I have full conversations in my head.
Your arm, you're like, no big deal. There's nobody there. Yeah. Everything's fine.
Yeah.
So
I'm making weird smirks and stuff for no reason.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. And I think, and I was raised in a Catholic family as well, and I just got to the point where I was like, I have to. I can't remember the specific thing, but I was like, I have to figure this out.
Yeah.
Like I have to. Like this is not normal, and I can't walk around like this anymore. It was just to the point where it, like, I wasn't myself. I wasn't me. And now I started training, and I just started developing these gifts, and it's been like life changing. Like I feel like I'm who I'm supposed to be, and I feel like I'm my whole self, and that's really hard to explain, but I know you guys get it, and probably a lot of people watching. It just kind of, it was like my spiritual coming out, like it was the hardest thing to say, I'm a psychic medium, because that was weird.
Yeah.
Like I was like, but once I got to that point, it was like I was free. Now I feel free, and I'm myself, and I can say what I see, and I have a good enough reputation that people are like, okay.